From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we welcome you to another edition of high school volleyball right here on RFM. A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dig Pink Night here at the gym at Leominster High School as Leominster High School plays host to South Lancaster Academy. Things are about to get underway here inside the gym at Leominster High School alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for RFM as we get set for first set action. Leominster brings their 2-10 overall record into this final game of the regular season. Meanwhile, South Lancaster a 4-4 overall record. These two teams saw each other about 2 weeks back. South Lancaster a 3-1 victory in that match. Overall, Leominster comes in with an opportunity here to raise awareness for breast cancer research as well as overall awareness for the importance of mammograms and what have you. We're happy to be a part of this evening here, and we're certainly looking forward to it, adding a little bit of pink in with our overall royal blue look. Girls wearing pink out on the floor, special pink graphics this evening, and great to have you with us as we are underway here inside the gym at Leominster High School. And right away, that one called long. Leominster picks up the first point. Kate, Leominster tonight perhaps playing for a more important reason than their overall record.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. This is a cause that's near and dear to their heart. They've been gearing up for this all year long. They told Coach Antonetti that they absolutely wanted to still have this evening, even though limited fans would be permitted. So this is the girls taking the initiative, wanting to have this night near and dear to their hearts. And they get to wear a little pink. Who doesn't like that?
Indeed they do. Pink with a little royal blue, pink and white ball in play. Nevard with the shove over. This is Mayer. Bumped back over by Shuris. Set from the outside, Shuris goes with the push. Stanton gets under with the dig.
Lots of cat and mouse going on right
Indeed, and it's just back and forth. Stanton tries to slap back. Not able to convert over the head of Stevenson. Nevard goes with the jump kill. Looks like she got the corner, and she did.
Everybody playing nice right there. Nevard said, no more. I'm settling this right now. Nice spike right there.
Opportunity to end that point. Angelina Broomfield on service for Leominster. Nevard comes again. The timing was a little off, made it over the net, and that's 4 hits. Leominster picks up another point. First set starts 3-1 Leominster.
Broomfield straying away from the traditional all black that we've seen her in. She gets to have the blue, the pink on blue rather than the blue on pink tonight.
Correct, and over at the official table, second official Bernie Leclerc down there on the floor is checking into the rotation. Officiating crew. It is tax day. Officiating crew sporting their new blue color that's come into vogue with volleyball as white starts to become passé.
So we have rotation.
So it's a rotation issue.
Yep.
And the service is going to go over. There was an issue with the server, so the ball will go back over. So it's 2-all as they'll reset the score, Kate, award the point, and give possession. Stevenson, the sophomore, no, check it, Mayer, the freshman, on service now. Pushed over by Shuris. Back row, Broomfield. Meza on the way over, thwarted by the curtain. And all of a sudden from a 3-1 Leominster lead, now to a 3-2 South Lancaster lead as the points get traded off in the process. And Wynn's not able to get up underneath that one. 4-2 Crusaders.
Leominster right now needing to figure out how to get settled in here.
That's Brady with the pushover and finds the floor.
quick pushover on the second hit there. I don't think Lancaster was expecting the return to come over the net right there. Kind of got caught flat-footed.
Leominster brings themselves within 1 point. And Felicia Meza is not able to clear the net. Interesting here, Kate, of course, we saw a very different Leominster team, I think, in personality come in on Monday night when it was in a matchup against a school where they knew that they were clearly seen as behind. That one wide of the line for Stevenson, the sophomore. Leominster goes back on serve. In this case tonight, where it seems like they're a little more evenly matched with this team in South Lancaster, Leominster seems a little more passive here in the early going. You're not feeling that energy that you felt on the game on Monday night.
And I know that you, that because of your commute, you were not able to see the JV game before, but the energy difference between the JV and the varsity game, night and day. The JV game this was a raucous atmosphere. People are cheering and yelling and screaming the entire time, and this is very subdued. I think you have a situation when you see an opponent walk in with just 8 people on their 9 people on their roster walking into a gym, and things kind of settle back down. You got to get yourself back up.
And the kill, and a huge fist bump for Oglesby. Came with the lefty kill to the open spot on the floor, and then a huge fist pump to follow it up. There's some enthusiasm.
I think you can certainly say that. Some pretty impressive outside hitting. They have some height over there as well. They've got a few people that really look talented. See what they bring to the table.
What they are, Kate, is young. Lots of sophomores and juniors, a smattering of freshmen, and just a lone senior. Abby Perez is the lone senior in this one.
Yep.
Ball will go back to Leominster, chasing
taken,
one.
And all I can think of is, couldn't be less photogenic what we're doing right now. That's exactly what I want, Coach.
Perez Soto couldn't clear the net.
And he wasn't very subtle about it.
Oh, no.
No sneak in that picture.
It's all good. Todd, you always look dapper.
I enjoy these nights.
Love that.
As Wynn just barely slipped that one off the fingertips and found the floor.
Todd, you don't lack any confidence for you know, all of this.
I will say this is one of my favorite nights of the year. I enjoy any time we can get an opportunity to wear hot pink.
Yep.
That one's long of the line. Although I will say at school today, a number of times there were the cat calls for, "Excuse me, sir, can you please turn your shirt down?"
Yep.
It was a little loud.
Did that come with batteries?
I was going to say for the mid-afternoon. I heard them all today, I'll tell you. But you know what? If this is a way to, 1, raise awareness for breast cancer research, I'm all in. Number 2, as far as I'm concerned, if it's a way to thwart the forecast, I'm going with a summer look here to try to thwart 4 to 7 inches of snow in April. Somebody please check the forecast. That one's wide of the line. Ball will go back to the Crusaders with the point.
Well, I know one thing. The weather people are giddy.
Oh, they are.
I don't know about anybody else.
Hook Echo games going on over there?
We do not have a meteorological division at RFM, but one day we will, and I'm sure they would be very excited about this one as that one finds the floor as Meza and Stanton whiff.
Lancaster pulling out to a lead here, 10-7 early going.
Wow.
And the lefty serve comes with a rocket from Oglesby.
That's no joke.
It's got a little spin. There's the outside hit set up. Stevenson decides to just tap over. Collier steps up and bumps it over. This is Mayer. Set for the outside. It was clipped on the block. Point will go to the Crusaders. The outside hit was Ashley Perez to get it over the net. That's one of those moments, Kate, it's too little, too late. You're already up on the block. You're going to wear this one no matter what you do.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
Over the net, dug out by Collier, but not able to square it up. (12-7), South Lancaster with the lead, and Coach John Antonetti says this is a good time to spend a timeout. Shayla Wynn comes over looking for an explanation. Leominster down 5 here in a 12-7 game number 1 here in this match. And I'll tell you, Bill Thomas, we've seen this team before come out flat. And this one's a little flat tonight.
Yeah, I wonder if they are not flat because they were so up against the tough opponent the other night. And was it
Groton Dunstable, yeah.
Dunstable, and but I think they'll regain some energy if the girls on the sideline would get them do some cheering and maybe get them a little more fired up. But they do need something to light a little fire under their fist so they can get some points here.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Coach Haniel Oliveira's team, he certainly has to be thrilled with their early performance as the timeout freeze does work, able to get the Oglesby service to come to an end as she just caught the net. Ball, point, possession, go back to Leominster, and Shayla Wynn goes on serve. She tries to bring the jump service and square in the middle of the net. So the teams exchange service errors and put Ashley Perez, the sophomore, on service for the Crusaders. And into the net. 3 straight serves, 3 straight service errors.
That's one of the things about this particular set. Not a lot of flow. No one team has been able to get into any sort of a groove. Points are amassing, but not in runs.
Broomfield's back on service. This one touched. Mayer tried to just tap it over with the fingertips, see if she could get it to clear the net. It caught the tape and never quite cleared. Leominster brings themselves within 3. Broomfield goes long down the line, and it's wide of the end line. I'm noticing, by the way, Broomfield has decided at game number 13 to go with a long sleeve underneath her main uniform, maybe to try to, I don't know, save her arms a little bit. Poor kid, I'll tell you, great effort all year long, and she's given every bit with the body. Certainly the black and blue champ on this side of the squad.
She definitely spends a lot of time sliding on her elbows at the end of those dives, so maybe a little, get rid of some of that friction perhaps there on the skin on the floor contact.
No time like the present, and all of a sudden service has become an issue. Meza will clear the net. Return, Broomfield taps back to the front row. Nevard tries to play it on. Perez Soto sends it back over. Middle of the floor, Wynn sets. Brady to the outside. Perez Soto sends it over. Pushed on by Carvalho. Wynn from the back row, long of the back line. 16-11, Crusaders over Blue Devils. Set number 1 here on Rivalry Family Media on Dig Pink Night. Do not adjust your television sets. Leominster wearing pink and royal blue. Raising awareness for breast cancer research and raising money tonight for a very good cause in treatment. Money raised tonight through a raffle available out there on Twitter. Search at Leominster Athletics, at LEOM Athletics on Twitter. As the teams exchange service errors yet again.
Yes, you can absolutely.
Find a raffle there. Buy some raffle tickets. Yep. We'll have the raffle results right here. Coach Sam Como is going to run them up, bring it up between the second and third set.
In between sets 2 and 3, we'll have those results. So go to Twitter. The link is there, as Todd said. It's going to take you. It's going to navigate you to the Leominster girls volleyball page in their website. So you'll be able to check a lot of things out there. Great website, and also you have the opportunity to make sure that you get into the raffle.
Absolutely.
Help out a good cause.
Indeed, helps out a good
great
cause. Coach John Antonetti takes a timeout, and over to the bench goes the team. 18-12, South Lancaster's lead right now. $200, I believe, in scratch tickets are available in the raffle, but more importantly is the money raised to go to a family in need involved with Leominster. Coach was talking about it the other night, of course. They direct the funds toward a Leominster family. This one is within the Leominster High School community as well. So I know it is an incredibly important cause, near and dear to the folks here that are part of the Blue Devil family, and certainly will be greatly appreciated and put to a fantastic use this evening as well. So a great chance to be a part of that. Still time to get into that raffle as we continue throughout the evening. And of course, while we're calling attention to it. We talk about it each and every time we are involved with these breast cancer awareness campaigns. It is important to note that early detection is the key. Schedule yourself a mammogram today. Do be sure to consult your doctor.
And make sure you check the COVID-19 regulations as well, because mammograms are
one of the many concerning things that are out there.
Yes.
It is being effective. They are
That's
adjusting
right.
those schedules, especially as it relates to vaccines. So important to consult with your doctor.
Don't put it off.
That's right. Win from the outside with the rip.
That's got to feel good.
Indeed it does. So libero off the floor for Leominster for the moment. It'll set the rotation. Perez Soto will go to the back line. And that's wide of the line. 6-point lead for the Crusaders. And Leominster needs to find some signs of life here. Back over Carvalho. And right back it goes. Within 5 of finishing this first set. Carvalho over Collier with the dig. Win from the outside. Looks cross court. Popped up by Mayer. Outside push over Perez. Brady sets for Win with the kill. Leominster gets themselves within 6. No time like the present for a run.
If they can do that a few more times, they will be right back in this one.
And there's the touch for Mayer.
Into the net
And
for
Leominster was into the net. Mayer was going with her back to the net, trying to tap it over. I thought maybe she had crossed the center line. Within 4 of closing out this first set, and on service, look out, it's Oglesby.
Coming over hot.
Indeed, and Stanton swings it back over. Tape will help with the block, and Leominster will get point and possession back.
And back to Shayla Wynn once again.
And certainly a well-timed need for one of Leominster's better servers, but she needs a run here.
Yes, exactly.
6 points to get back into the game to draw things even at this moment. Goes with the jump service. Has had much more luck throughout the year serving from a flat-footed stance. (22-15) within 3 of closing this one out are the Crusaders. Here's the outside. Nevard on the attack. It's dug out, kept alive. That looked like it curled around the antenna. Still gonna go. Nevard decides to shove it over. Tap at the net for Stevenson. Brady, this one's gotta go over. And back corner, and it's a kill for Wynn.
Playing a very different role tonight is Shayla Wynn in this particular set.
Using her, a good point, Kay. Using her on that third hit a lot more instead of being the second set.
Mm-hmm.
And playing the back line much more in the rotation. Still alive. Over it goes for Stevenson. This one low. Somebody's going to send it over on the free ball. It's pushed over by Broomfield from the back row. Middle of the floor. Win. Set. Perez Soto clears. Volley develops. The jump kill for Suris. Not going to clear the net. Leominster brings themselves that much closer at 22-17. Broomfield on service. Clips the tape and in.
Inching back.
Chair official Rainey Arsenal gets the signal from second official Bernie Leclerc. That caught line. Middle of the floor, popped up. Suris over. Meza right back. Comes the outside. Nice touch there from Suris. Nevard pushes it into the middle of the floor. Right back, Mayer. Brady goes outside. Nevard and Perez Soto missed the timing. That communication between that center and left spot has been Nevard wants to kill it every time it comes in her general region, and Perez Soto sometimes is backed up a little bit into her Venn diagram, Kate, that we've talked about, those overlapping circles. Nevard calls for it and is a little deep. That one into the net. On the hill comes South Lancaster at 24-18. Mayer, the freshman, on serve to close out the first set. Clips tape, Brady right back. Pushed, win, fists it right back. Mayer with the set, swung over by Stevenson. And Broomfield, Brady, Perez Soto, picked up on a foot. That one's still alive. Nice sliding play by Oglesby. Perez Soto over the net. Oglesby keeps it alive. Back and forth goes this volley. Nevard turns the corner and gets the outside edge.
She saw that hole and she just shifted her body mid-air to be able to find it. That hole had opened up for quite a while, and Nevard very Johnny or Jane on the spot, let's say.
And that one was what they couldn't have. A service error, and the ball, point, and the first game of this match goes to South Lancaster Academy. Tough run there on serve for Leominster, closing that one out, Kate. Can't say that they started flat, weren't able to battle their way back into the game. The very tail end, though, there was still a chance. You're within 5 points of being able to get back into this one at 24-19. Then you can't let one hit the floor, and the service error closes out the game.
Well, not only that, when we talk about kind of the emotion that's going on, this is a very different feel than we felt just a few short days ago. When Groton Dunstable came into this gymnasium, there were fewer people in the gym, but it was a heightened emotional experience. And right now we're not feeling that. There's in my estimation, a bit of a letdown emotionally right now for Leominster. They're out there, they're having fun, they're communicating, we're seeing different players doing some different things. We haven't seen Shayla Wynn in the outside hitting position for quite a few weeks. So, nice to see them, changing some things up. We got to get the energy going, though. They gotta get that tenacity back that we saw against Groton Dunstable. One of the things that Coach Antonetti had talked about, and what I think you're seeing on display here, is that although I would agree these two teams fairly evenly matched, the Leominster that we saw against Groton Dunstable, I don't necessarily think would have had any trouble in that first set. We're seeing various versions of this Blue Devils team, and I feel like rather than playing to their heightened ability at all times, they are matching their competition from week to week. And that's, I think, some of the frustration we were hearing from Coach Antonetti. He knows what these girls are capable of, and he's not seeing it every day. We saw it against Groton Dunstable. They were fantastic this week against Groton Dunstable, and right now we're not seeing quite that level of play. And now that everybody knows what they're capable of, that's what you want to see day in and day out. That's what you want to see consistently.
And Bill Thomas, when you're in a situation where you don't show in some scenarios, or you only show when the team across from you is that much better than you are, that's how you end up in situations where your 2-10 record kind of shows a little bit. You just don't understand that there are some teams you shouldn't be able to handle fairly easily. And in this particular circumstance, Leominster making a struggle for themselves, and they lose set number one.
Well, you would think so, especially when you play in a smaller school like South Lancaster is. You think you would have a competitive advantage just based on the numbers. But we're not seeing that tonight. And, I think one of the areas that's really hurting Leominster is the serve. It's kind of like missing free throws in a basketball game. You're in a position to gain the advantage right from the onset. You have the ball in your hands, you're controlling the action. When you give away those free points, and I didn't keep track, but I'm going to guess at least a half a dozen service errors, which led to really a 6-point loss there. You get half of those in play, you win some of those, you get a totally different outcome at the end.
And Kate, it's not for lack of opportunity here for Leominster, because while their service hasn't been working, the only service that's been worse than theirs has been South Lancaster's, who has had a lot of one-and-done service opportunities that led to Leominster points, but they weren't able to capitalize.
Again, we've talked about it. Leominster very good at matching exactly what their competition is doing, and like you said, it's not for lack of opportunity. But right now, we need to see Leominster take the reins on this, right the ship in the second set. But you've been able to tell they ride whatever wave of emotion they're feeling at a given point in time. they were absolutely stellar and on point against Groton Dunstable. They need to manufacture and they need to duplicate that level of energy because, as Coach Antonetti has said, they ride their emotions, and whatever that is how they're going to be.
Win, little help from the tape, going over. Stanton catches the net. Got a little overzealous. Stanton, by the way, tonight wearing number 12 on the floor instead of her typical 24. Randy Wood, the senior, not present this evening for Leominster. She's a healthy scratch. Jasmine De Silva from South Lancaster, also a scratch this evening, the freshman. Stevenson, and a first touch there, although wide of the line, for the freshman Abigail Muller. Oglesby goes right at Nevard, keeps it alive. She'll get an opportunity to come right back. And that one just a little wide of the line. Her target and her body control for Nevard has been impressive. But what I really like, Kate, is every time she goes to play the ball, she looks like she's attacking the ball.
Absolutely, yep. See the same, you know.
That one's long on the line.
Although a different discipline for Isabella, you know, we're generally accustomed to seeing her on the basketball court, and you can see that tenacity all the time out of her. You see it here as well, especially when she gets ready to be that outside hitter.
Broomfield is in the first service slot tonight, and that's her first service of this set. With the swing, Muller, Perez, nets, and back it goes. And I can see why Coach Antonetti would make that move with Broomfield. She had over the last, I would say, 2 or 3 broadcasts we've been here, the more consistent, longer runs on service.
Yep.
So obviously, you move her up just like any other rotation in any other sport. You move her up to the top of the line with hopes that she gets more opportunities on service.
Her, and then right behind her, the next most consistent server for this entire season, Perez Soto. So, like you said, a little bit of a change up in that particular lineup, but, you know, a wise choice, in my estimation.
Teammates trying to help Muller. They need those sets a little higher is what they're trying to get across. Wynn directing traffic from the middle of the floor. Felicia Meza goes on serve. Sends the pink and white volleyball over the net. Wynn with the set. For Meza, bumped along. Little pinball action clears the net. Swung right back over by Stevenson. There's the set from Muller. Perez Soto, able to kill it. That was the third touch. It came right over. Leominster responded right back. And that one, Muller needed to let go. It makes contact, and the ball and the point go back to South Lancaster. And Kate, that's just all about learning on the job.
Oh, yes. Yep. Experiential learning, as we call it.
Indeed. Muller sets. Pushed over by Nevard from
Beautiful
a tough
job.
angle.
Beautiful job getting that in between the antenna.
Pushed right back over. This is Abby Perez, and she clips line. Racing out to a 6-point lead here in set number 2 is South Lancaster at 8-2, and Coach John Antonetti has seen enough to spend the time out.
You know, you talk about Muller learning on the job, a freshman, we might add. And,
Yes.
you know, along with Neva, a sophomore, she's learning on the job too. And so a young squad here that John's working with, and but they've been coming along, showing a lot of improvement as the season's progressed.
Indeed, and Kate, I would also note to Bill Thomas's point, that would be, of course, in other communities, volleyball is a sport where you get a lot of, you know, whether it be summer ball, travel ball, you have the, you know, kind of feeder youth system that pushes this up. There aren't a lot of volleyball teams in this area. A lot of basketball, a lot of baseball, a lot of softball, all those things. And lacrosse is growing in this area. Soccer is the obvious one. Giant facilities in both Fitchburg and Lancaster. In Leominster, volleyball is a thing that a lot of students, much like field hockey, pick up when they get to high school.
Yeah, that's quite true. You know, you take a look at some of the more traditional volleyball communities around, and it's a very different experience, particularly at the youth level. So this is one of those sports. It's a fantastic sport. If you ever have the opportunity to play it, I picked it up when I became a freshman in high school. A lot of opportunity for growth, a lot of opportunity for, learning a new skill, using your body in a different way. It's fabulous.
Muller, outside sets.
Just to expand a little bit on that, I was talking to the coach earlier. They have not only a JV, but a JV2 team.
Yes.
And they've committed to playing as many juniors and seniors at the varsity level as they can. There are no juniors in the sub-levels. They've got them all up on the varsity level, where you see a lot of other clubs, they really base their decisions purely on talent. There could be more talent at the sub-level, but they don't want to give the upperclassmen end up paying the price because of the talent rather than just the opportunity to play. And I think there's a little different philosophy going on here, and it's great to see, the upperclassmen getting the opportunity to play. It's not just about the talent.
And Bill Thomas, I agree with you. I think there is definitely, as Collier digs this one out, we'll get into a little philosophical discussion here in a moment after this point. Actually, believe it or not, a good one as a double hit call on Muller. I think there's an opportunity, Bill Thomas, and I think this is something missing in high school athletics right now. And it's something that you see at the college level where you have varsity, which is NCAA sports, which are the ones you see on TV all the time. And then you have something at the college level they call club sports, and then you have recreational sports. So, club is the players that aren't quite good enough to be NCAA athletes.
No scholarships.
No scholarships or anything. They just play. They want to play their sport.
Academic scholarship.
Correct.
Right.
And then you have recreational sports, which are made for people that just have a love and a passion for a game and want to keep playing it. And I feel like there's an opportunity at the high school level to maybe bring that club recreational hybrid kind of idea into high school athletics, because I do think there's a split in athletics right now. You have athletes that absolutely want to play to win. That's always been the hallmark of high school athletics. The athlete that wants to play to win, that's here to win titles, that's here to win games. But there are also a vast sum of athletes, and particularly in sports like this, who are maybe there for the social aspects of the game. And you're seeing some of that in special situations, like for special education and life skills students, where you have unified basketball and unified track and some of these other things for students with severe, disabilities and challenges in life. Perhaps there's an opportunity that's also there for a more recreational athlete, as that one goes long of the line off the hand of Oglesby.
I thought they were going to keep that rally going.
To keep it going so we get the point in. But, there is that opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another level of high school athletics that's going to have to come to pass here at some point in the near future.
I couldn't agree more. And I like the idea of having the two JV teams, instead of just saying the rest of the girls, go find something else to do.
Absolutely. Rather see them participate than not participate at all, which, Kate, then brings me to your conversation. You teach at a school that is a no-cut school. So you have teams that have 30 and 40 and 50 players on a team in order to not cut anybody and to create more opportunities.
Yep, in order to accommodate. The only thing that I will say is that I believe you can cut seniors because seniors have to be on varsity. So if they're
the varsity team can only be so big at some point.
Correct.
Which then gets you to the conversation, wouldn't it be better to keep them playing
in a club
and have a club or a recreational idea available at the high school level?
Yep.
And not so much rely on town and community or city recreation departments in order to generate that. There's something to be said within the high school existing structure that could be made.
No point put up for that, so I'm going to take it down.
12-6 is what the board says in stadium.
So we will match.
And we'll match. First touch on the floor for the sophomore Sarah Bravo, playing the back row. Stanton. Tapped on, and a nice play there. Mano a mano, Oglesby against Nevard.
And the biggest thing about that, I want to just bring up Oglesby, literally on her tippy toes, making sure that her body didn't follow through into the net. What a fantastic athletic feat that is. Making sure that your momentum that is going forward stops on that dime. Unreal.
Broomfield has to dig it out, heading toward the back line. She does. Nevard attacks into the middle of the floor.
Nevard using those basketball ups a lot tonight.
Indeed she is. Here's another opportunity. Stanton
She
blows it
wanted
up.
that one too.
She has wanted a number of them that have been grabbed in the center of the floor.
She's lining herself up.
Has to tap that one over. Sets, middle of the floor, Muller, another set, and swung on by Stanton. Outside Mayer, partially blocked, but to the wrong side of the net.
Nice effort, though.
Indeed.
You see Neva, she just wants to get up on that front line. As soon as the point starts, she's ready to get up there. Just charge the net.
Oglesby with an ace.
You know, if that's a skill she can develop, she has 2 more years to work on that attack mode, and I think we're going to see some great things if she sticks with the volleyball.
Coach John Antonetti spends another timeout. 15-6 the lead. South Lancaster Academy here in set number 2. I have to imagine the raffle will be closing soon, so here's your opportunity. Last chance, last call for those of you joining us remotely via Rivalry Family Media to hop on social media, jump in, buy your last-minute raffle tickets before those raffle tickets get pulled at Lem Athletics, L-E-O-M Athletics on Twitter, for at Leominster Athletics, as well as on the Leominster High School Girls Volleyball Facebook page, which is tagged in our broadcast tonight here on Facebook. An opportunity. They are accepting Kate Venmo and any other pay. I know you jumped on there today.
I did PayPal. But
PayPal and Venmo is
all
out there.
major credit cards. Yep.
All major payments and credit cards will be accepted.
Hey, why not, right?
And
Just
for a good cause this
Stuff
evening.
cash into that slot in your laptop where you normally stick the disc.
That's right.
It'll
If you
pull
can
the
get it
money
here.
in. It's like a slot machine.
If you can
We'll
get it to
figure out a
take
way
it.
to get it.
You know, Bill Thomas, something might be invented right there and now. There's a group of people that aren't going to want to give up their paper dollars, that's for sure. Stanton taps it over. Kill opportunity. Broomfield lets it go, and smartly, nice read.
I love that she also gives the hand signal
Yeah,
as
the,
well.
the signal for
Oh,
long
it's
of the
so
line,
good.
yes.
Goes out.
I love it. She goes down and gives the hand signal simultaneously.
Point to the spot.
It is as much for her as a mental, reminder, like out. But it's so good.
And clipping the tape is Ashley Perez, and what the tape giveth, it can also taketh, but that one giveth and keeps on giving. +9 for the Crusaders. That one's long of the line.
Back and forth we go again.
Yeah, halfway there, Leominster in 16-8, set number 2. Desperately feels like they need to win this set to have a chance in the match. Race to 25, got to win by 2, best of 5 sets. That one catches tape and in. Leominster keeps the ball, gets the point.
So in a quick question, this oddly mixed up season schedules, when is volleyball usually played?
Fall
Fall.
for girls.
It is a fall sport.
Yes.
Okay.
For girls.
Correct. For boys, it is a spring sport.
You generally have the same coach for boys and girls, generally. Not always.
I was going to say, here at Leominster, they've gone back and forth with that, but yes, it is a possibility. It's kind of like your track coaches and those kinds of things. Obviously, they're identical sports, indoor and outdoor track. Kind of makes sense, the same coach.
As much as I enjoy Coach Antonetti.
That one, by the way, denied by the
yes,
curtain.
As much as I enjoy him, I think probably the classic Leominster coaching duo for volleyball would be Patty Meyer and, go ahead and say it,
And Coach John Dubzinski,
oh,
who was one of
gosh.
the first boys volleyball coaches in the history of Leominster High School.
I love it.
Famous, of course, for being a 25-plus year head coach of the Leominster High School football team.
Love it. Absolutely adore it.
As our good friend Dick Tucker would remind us, the 12-time Super Bowl champion Leominster High School football team. And Coach
Right.
John Dubzinski won a number of those and then saw an opportunity to coach a slightly different sport in the waning part of his career as an educator. And I give him all the credit in the world for giving it a shot as that one comes to the floor.
Last 3 years, try something new, right?
And I know he enjoyed it.
Yes.
That much I know he did.
Yep. And he has the demeanor. I mean, for most people that don't know Coach Dubzinski, you think, oh, hardened football coach, testosterone laden. But his demeanor is fantastically perfect for volleyball.
Nevard with the kill. Goes cross court. And Nevard will catch a spell as Hannah
I'll say-
Collier in the rotation.
Bernie LeClaire has been real efficient with these with these substitutions tonight.
Players still having to turn around, though, so you can see the numerals. Could certainly be fixed with, yes, that's correct, the paddles. Bring back the paddles. I love the Sotheby's look as this one clears the net and finds the floor.
We didn't even have paddles when I played.
No, it came and it went somewhere in between. I think it was at the college level when we were in high school, and then has already become passé thanks to electronic scoreboards.
Oh,
To the floor, that one goes. Yeah, Abby Perez, the senior, takes advantage. Okay, that just feels like that's part of it. Communicate is what is missing.
Honestly,
in the Leominster game plan.
They're just, every single one of them, just a little bit off tonight.
Broomfield gives up the body to keep it alive. And then right up to her feet to swing it over. Wynn thought about the block. Ball never cleared the net. The more that
We had a lot of new faces out there too tonight.
Well, I was going to say, coach trying to mix and match, getting some young players in, as well as some experienced veterans to try to wrap up their careers.
Make sure you get all their names in there.
Indeed, we will.
Get them some verbal ink.
I would also tell you, Kate, all the players on the floor, other than Muller, have played a multitude of games this season.
No, I know.
It's the pink that's throwing you off. Dug out by Perez Soto. Muller keeps it alive, and Leominster somehow gets the point. You wouldn't have bet on that one as the ball was rolling along the net.
Oh, my score is messed up. Hold on, people.
Across the front line, Muller, Stanton, and Wynn. Back
You're
line
literally
for
just
Leominster.
going through this because of
Meza,
me.
Collier, and Perez Soto.
Okay. Billy, this is Todd's not so subtle. Like, Kate, what are you thinking?
Hey, I've been there.
Maybe
I've been lost. Stanton with the kill middle of the
maybe
floor.
I'm the
I'm
one
sorry,
who's off
I
today.
think there's something wrong with my headset. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of static. What
Bill
were you
Thomas
saying?
is very good.
What were
Very
you
good
saying?
at staying out of our marital bliss.
I was
is
going
he
to say,
not?
Bill Thomas has been experienced enough now, a decade, calling sports with us together. As that one goes,
To know, oh, that could
Why the
trigger
line?
Kate.
I know
That
when to
coulda-
hold them, and I know
and
when to fold them.
world's best marriage counselor, the one and only Bill Thomas.
That's right.
Knows when to hop in, knows when to stay out,
And he always sides with Kate.
which is smart on his part.
Always. He's a wise man.
Any husband will recognize the losing venture as this one is killed in the middle of the back row.
Well, I'm 0 for 2, so I've learned a little bit along the way. So, but I might not be the best person to take advice from. Just saying.
But you're wise enough to side with me always, Bill Thomas, so good job.
That's the one thing I learned.
That's right. That's it.
Perez Soto's service clears the net.
Happy Katie. Good broadcast.
Outside, and it's a net call
Yep.
on Oglesby.
Yep.
4 hits, a net. No, it was number 4 into the net. There we go. And they called it on Leominster.
Yes. It wasn't on Oglesby. It was against Leominster.
All right, I'll go with
Rainy Arsenal had the right hand on the net.
it. I know he did. Run down by Suris. And over the net, this is Collier.
You and I are going to go to blows.
Muller, Stanton, and into the net. Called against South Lancaster.
Hey, way to go.
Point
High
of possession
fives.
will go to Leominster.
Well done. I like that you're doing the hand motions too. Rock on.
Hey, I'll tell you, I was in the wrong sport. That's all I know.
Yeah. Get you a whistle.
Get me a whistle.
A hand whistle.
I like this blue shirt.
Much more flattering than the white.
Finger whistle. Definitely the finger whistle.
Yep.
Although I like the Mr. Rogers sweater look one of the guys
nice
had last
job
week.
with that
Indeed.
double block.
Broomfield, Muller, Wynn, that's long. 21-17 South Lancaster. On service with the opportunity to close it out. For those of you joining us on Breast Cancer Awareness Night, remember, it is important to gain early detection. That is the successful treatment as well as the successful research. Early detection is the way to go. Score your mammogram today with the advice, of course, of your medical professional, particularly in the time of COVID as Broomfield gives up the body. We will have those raffle results for those of you holding on to those raffle tickets at home. We'll have them for you coming up. between sets 2 and 3, as that one goes wide of the mark. And the point will go to South Lancaster. Oglesby on serve at 22-17. South Lancaster already with set number 1 in their back pocket. Wait, Oglesby was going to the back line and realized Abby Perez was the server in the rotation.
Phew.
And perhaps it was Coach Oliveira that called in and said, whoa, hang on a second. That's not the right service. Now they have it. And here comes underhand with Perez.
Very rare to see that at the varsity level, but very consistent. I'd rather have consistent at times.
Mayer couldn't clear the net. And Bravo politely steps up to the line.
They're adorable.
I was gonna say,
They really are.
so sweet, wanted to make sure that, that official Leclerc could see it.
I love it.
Nevard will come in for Collier and take that front left spot.
Oh, I think we got paperwork coming our way.
As Wynn goes on service. It's a 4-point game here in set number 2. Wynn, tape, alive. It got the floor. Leominster with the point and the ace.
Nice effort by all. Nice service by Shayla Wynn there.
Brings the hammer on this one to the middle of the floor. Dug out by Shuris. Mayer got it over, and Leominster could not respond. Within 2 points of closing out set number 2 at 23-19, Oglesby goes to the back line. That one tails right at Nevard, and there's nobody there.
Broomfield, though, look at how far she came.
The other side of the court.
Look at how far she came to even have a chance at that.
The basketball foul line, and was just short on the angle.
My word.
Oglesby, long of the line. Back to Leominster it goes. On the hill is South Lancaster. First set point, no good. 24-20. Broomfield on serve. And at this point for Leominster, once again, they cannot let a ball touch the floor. Popped up by Bravo, into the net, touched on by Meza. That got a little nerve-wracking. And into the net, Stevenson.
Leominster's still alive.
Indeed they are.
But their
and you
most
can feel,
consistent server. Look at her. She is basically praying.
well, I was saying,
that
Broomfield
this
is
works.
talking to the ball at this point.
She's got the greatest personality.
And over the net it goes. Bravo.
There'll be
Double
another.
hit, and there's another.
Leominster's still in it. Inching back. Look at Broomfield. She is excited. And Coach Oliveira wisely taking the timeout.
Hadn't spent one yet. This is as good a time as any at 24-22 in the second set.
Coach does not want to be on camera. You didn't want to be on camera with us? I saw you walk all the way around the back. I see you. I see you. That's fine. We're good. Excellent. Thanks, Coach.
Raffle ticket results
Fantastic.
are in.
Wave, Coach.
And Bill Thomas
She's like,
brings the
"Great,
camera
thanks."
to you.
Can't get away.
You wanted to walk around the back. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Coach.
Assistant Coach Sam Como dropping off those raffle results for you again for a
She's
great
never gonna
cause
come
this
talk
evening.
to us ever
No,
again.
indeed, that is
She's
probably true.
Never. She's gonna stay so far away from us for the rest
The
of.
camera has a zoom in case she's in a,
Bill Thomas can find them anywhere. So we will have those raffle tickets coming up as far as the results go. Have your raffle tickets handy. Again, remember, all funds donated tonight going to the family of a Leominster High School teacher who themselves has been battling breast cancer. Leominster needs 4 points in total to win this second set at a minimum. It continues. Muller for Nevard. Timing thrown off a little, but got it over. Stevenson over. Muller
Ooh,
punches it
danger.
on. It's wide of the line. And there goes set number 2 at 25-22 to South Lancaster. They take a 2-0 advantage. And so we've reached that hotly contested point of the evening, all, of course, for a good cause, and that is the results of the raffle. So it was $200 in scratch tickets that were available for this raffle this evening. Leominster High School Girls Volleyball would like to thank all who participated, and with their help, and with your help, they were able to raise $1,250 through this raffle to send to the family of Pat Foley, a beloved father, husband, and Leominster High School teacher diagnosed with glioblastoma in 2018. Through your generosity, $1,250. That's the Leominster High School family rallying behind, and the Leominster High School girls volleyball family rallying to the cause
You ready for a
of
drum
this
roll?
family. Yes, thank you. The drum roll, please. The winner of the $200 in scratch tickets for their generosity and support, Doug Nebel. That's Doug Nebel, N-E-B-E-L. Winner of $200 in scratch tickets. Leominster High School girls volleyball will be in touch with your prize this evening. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you to everyone who donated. I know on behalf of Coach John Antonetti, Coach Sam Como, the girls here involved in the Leominster High School girls volleyball program, I know how thrilled they were to be able to put on this event. And Coach Antonetti said it, Kate, the #1 most disappointing thing his boys volleyball team had in not being able to compete last year was not being able to have this event, which they were going to run for the first time on the boys side of things, which I have no doubt they will do
Yep.
in this COVID-modified spring, and I'm sure we'll be here for it with Rivalry Family Media as well.
You got it.
$1,250 raised thanks to your support for the family of Pat Foley.
Think about how significant that is. You're talking about, potentially $5 a ticket for the raffle with no fans even being able to be here. And such a special event to these young ladies that they were still able to get out there, pound the virtual pavement.
Indeed.
Because that's not even permitted right now. It's not as if,
You can go door to
they can
door
go door to door, even throughout the
standard
school to
business,
the
yeah.
various teachers. This is solely in a virtual space, a virtual setting, and $1,250 all raised virtually without anybody really even being able to be here is staggering, in my opinion.
And Bill Thomas, how
Kudos.
about being able to raise money to support not only your own community, but somebody within your own community, a teacher and a beloved father right here inside the Leominster High School family?
Well, I think it says a lot for the family of Leominster Athletics and the school in general. We've seen it in other sports we've covered, and I'm very grateful to be able to be a very small part of this very big family here that you have in Leominster, and to be involved in activities, fundraisers, and just nights like this. We've done it in basketball and football, and now to be able to be involved on this volleyball side, it's really a special night, and you can just see it and feel it in the people involved.
And I know people would love to have been able to be here in the building and be a part of it, but way to turn out and be involved and make your contributions from home. And that is just one of the many things that through the miracles of technology that have been able to continue. And for as much as social media has its perils, it also is phenomenal at uniting and bringing people together under circumstances like this. So certainly a win-win all around this evening. Again, Doug Nebel, the winner of the raffle. That's Doug, N-E-B-E-L, a winner of $200 in scratch tickets for participating in this raffle to raise awareness and for treatment of the insidious breast cancer disease. As we get set to begin set number 3. South Lancaster winner 25-19 in set 1, 25-22 in set number 2. And here they begin on service with Oglesby in set number 3. Stanton tries to find floor, can't do it. Meza right back. Kept it alive. And into the middle of the floor, not gonna make it. Oglesby grabs the Crusaders a 1-0 lead here in the third set. And an ace makes it 2-0.
That came in hot, as could be, right down the line too. Well placed serve.
And right back over, Collier digs it out. Kept alive, Stevenson goes back line, wide. And Leominster is on the board here in set number 3. Collier out. In comes Nevard in the rotation. And Wynn will start in the first server slot here in set number 3. Goes over with this one. Stevenson, dug out by Muller. Stanton with the tap on. This one a free ball. Dug out by Wynn, set by Muller. Nevard brings the hammer down for the kill.
She's looking for that third hit over here in this near sideline. Every chance she gets. You can see her setting up near the three-point arc on the basketball court and just charging into that third set.
And another ace for Wynn. Dug out this time by Shuris. Back over. Wynn, that was touched on Stanton. Might have got away with a little net grab there. Touched on. They tried the foot again, did Oglesby. She was successful in doing it, sliding in set number 1. Wasn't able to get a toe on that one. Over the net comes Wynn. Oglesby kept it alive. Free ball swung over by Stevenson. Nevard pushed on. Oglesby with a punch keeps it alive. Back to her feet to swing it over. What an individual effort in this volley by Oglesby.
She's everywhere.
Indeed. Tapped on by Stanton. Dug out by Stevenson. Now played over. Easily into the middle of the floor. Once they get that shape off, Kate, the Venn diagram seemingly, although they overlap at points, all of a sudden the Venn diagram ends up with a situation where it touches nothing.
Well,
None of the circles touch each other.
If you're Leominster, there's a situation that occurs where because you're so intently watching the ball, you're not resetting yourself on every single volley. And so what ends up happening is that shape starts to kind of collapse and you become very much like an amoeba, essentially. And the bodies aren't where they need to be, and then there tends to be these gaping holes.
How did Suris get that one over the net? Perez Soto pushed on, and the net's going to kill that one. 5-3, now 6-3, the Leominster advantage.
First Leominster lead in quite a while here, too, in this match.
And a desperately needed lead, Bill Thomas, they've got to maintain in order to continue the match. Race to 25, got to win by 2 in each and every game except the 5th, which would be a race to 15, got to win by 2. And right now, Leominster needs to force a 5th in order to win the match.
They got to force a 4th.
In order to even get that far.
To get to a 5th.
A lot of forcing to happen.
Broomfield, tape over it, makes it. And there was a toe to send it back, but it was a little too late. More than one player has that soccer skill over there. I couldn't see the number. It may have been Perez. Oh, no, it was 1, you say?
Yeah.
So Mayer was able to respond with a toe?
Yeah.
That one got a little clip of the antenna. A
All
nice
of a
job
sudden.
by Perez Soto. And she exhaled as she jumped straight up and looked down and was like, phew, I made it on this side of the floor.
Looking for which way the official's going to point. She got the call.
Largest lead of the night for the Blue Devils, and
South
Broomfield.
Lancaster, though, for the first time in this particular match, kind of on their heels a little bit.
It is the first time they're being asked to play back into the match, Kate. I would agree with you. Knocked on by Mayer.
Oh, wow.
Shoveled over by
Sneaky.
Shuris.
That was sneaky.
Middle of the floor, Perez Soto swung the arms. Square to the net. That one will go wide of the line.
Sometimes you're looking for that element of surprise, and you know the defense is waiting for that third hit spike, and sometimes you get it over early. You catch them flat-footed.
Mayer's service clears net. Nevard able to clear it. That's wide of the antenna.
It went over.
Yeah, I was going to say, it went
Almost got
over
the
something.
official.
It went over something. It went around official Rainey Arsenal, but not over the net inside the antenna.
I guess when it comes over his shoulder, it's pretty good.
I was
idea.
going to say,
It didn't
that's a
get
problem.
around the antenna.
I could see some ways we could expand this sport a little bit. You know, field hockey, I thought, improved their sport by cutting down to 7 players on the field. I think we make this net go end to end here. And just, if you can keep it alive and keep it going, why not?
Turn it into volleyball.
More
instead
or
of
less, I was going to say,
volleyball.
that's the old volleyball, right?
I think you should stop.
Great recreational activity. Timeout taken on the floor.
I think quit while you're behind.
You're not a proponent of moving the pitcher's mound back another foot, are you, to change the game?
Not particularly,
All right,
no.
good.
No,
Just
not,
checking.
not particularly. Although I will say in the sport of softball, it changed the sport dramatically and actually made it a better sport in the long run.
And it was only 3 inches.
Yeah, I was going to, well, 3 feet.
3 feet, sorry.
Yeah,
3 feet.
from 40 feet to 43 feet.
43.
Totally changed the game. So it can work, Bill Thomas. Do I think it will in baseball? No. I also don't think the pitching distance is the problem with baseball. The problem with baseball is an antithetical pace that is eclipsed by shuffleboard in how long it takes in order to play the game. But that's neither here nor
That's
thither.
still not cricket.
It's heading in the direction
No,
of cricket.
Yeah, oh, stop it.
You say that.
Oh, stop it.
Well, they
At
want to
this
give
point in the culture of the United States, baseball is about as viable as cricket as it is as far as the sales game goes. The American pastime, it is not.
They want to give you time to watch the grass grow. in
Oh,
between
phew.
pitches.
I think you're just talking about the Red Sox.
No, Kate, I'm talking about the sport of baseball, unfortunately. Over that one goes. Dug out and nice snare made by the chair official, Rainey Arsenal. South Lancaster was close to battling this one all the way back. Perez Soto catches the middle of the floor. And Leominster goes back on serve. They were able to maintain their lead, which was as large as 6 here in set number 3. Meza on serve. Win the kill that caught the ref. They're still alive. Third coming over on the free ball. Nevard to Muller, back to Nevard, off a foot, pushed over by Perez. And they say it caught the floor. This whole foot method thing is going to work sometimes and not others. In this case, that one got floor, said Bernie Leclerc. Nevard slaps right back. Over it goes. That was off the hands of Mayer. Win. Big hammer from the middle of the floor. Catches the net.
A little too far back right there. Like the aggressiveness, a little out of position.
Stevenson on service. Broomfield. Bumped up. And Perez tried to dance the line.
I didn't touch it.
She tried.
She knew it.
She is the.
She tried so hard.
Laughing with the official.
It's a sales pitch.
Indeed. Stevenson, the sophomore, sends this one over. And Perez Soto will push it on. That's in. All the way back have come the Crusaders at 11-all. Down by as much as 6 in this set. Already with a 2-0 lead. And Stevenson's serve continues. And this one responds wide of the line. Stevenson continues on serve. And I figured the rate her serve was going, that was about the only way it could potentially end, which was with an error. And that one into the net, 12-all.
looked a little out of sync on that toss right there. Like she didn't know whether to catch it. She kind of got caught in the wrong foot, and the result was into the net.
It's amazing how much that first toss can throw you
Huge.
off.
It's absolutely huge. It's got to be perfect.
Oglesby drives that one home.
With authority.
And now they've come all the way back over the top, have the Crusaders at 13-12. I've got a question for you, Kate. I don't think I've asked this one yet. Can you let it fall?
Yes,
You can let it fall and then relaunch your serve?
I believe you can.
So that's an old tennis rule, where if they don't like their initial toss on serve, they can always just let the ball come down, pick it up and toss it again.
I could be wrong. It happens regularly.
Now, we all have been at some point in time. Shuris cleared the net. Muller sends it right back over. Oglesby said take that. And then a miscue between Muller and Collier, and the ball finds the floor.
Quick aggressive hit right there, no setting. Just bring it right back. Paid off. Oglesby.
Perez Soto reaches back and catches the tape. And Coach John Antonetti has to spend the time out at 16-12, feeling like this could be the moment where this third set could go the other way. And if it does, the match will be over, Bill Thomas. So certainly it's an important moment.
South Lancaster certainly sees the momentum from being down big early on to all of a sudden find themselves leading by 4 here. And it happened very quickly.
Indeed, it has. So many different things going on out there this week, by the way. This, of course, match got shuffled along because, of course, of weather.
But another revision?
I was going to say, no, we can say,
No, this one
I say, Dave hasn't passed an envelope up here, so far as I know.
Well, this one moved at the beginning of the season.
I was going to say, so moved at the beginning of the season, could have moved this week. There was talk about sliding the schedule around to accommodate a change on the football side of things. Leominster's game with Doherty was scheduled for Friday night originally. Weather forecast for Friday looking 100% ugly.
Fitchburg's going full remote tomorrow.
Indeed they are, thanks to
Schools.
a snow forecast. But anyhow, so Leominster's game was going to be Friday, then it was going to be tonight with football, and then the forecast for tonight wasn't that much better than tomorrow. And so ultimately the officials involved said, let's pick this game up and move it to Saturday, where there's only about a 20% chance of it being messy. So that is ultimately where the game ends up. Leominster will host Doherty in their lone home game on the schedule to this point. Leominster Doherty football, Saturday, 6 o'clock for the varsity game, 3 o'clock for the JV beforehand. Varsity action will feature Bill Thomas, Kate, and myself in our usual broadcast home of the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com, along with our partners, Leominster TV, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 32, in the city of Leominster, streaming at leominster.tv. The world over, the touch and tap, and Oglesby with the kill. And all of a sudden,
she's got fantastic
body control,
vision.
Body
control, the vision. Her vision has been exceptional.
The end is nigh, say the Crusaders. And that's an ace for Shuris.
That hurt me. And I'm all the way up here.
In addition, other scheduled additions for Leominster High School football. They've added a game for next Thursday night, 7 o'clock at Doyle Field. They'll play host to Shepherd Hill again. As Leominster was in search of an opponent, they found a willing team to play. Shepherd Hill will come to Doyle Field for the second event of the season. So that second game between those two schools, the back end of the home and home, will be at Doyle Field next Thursday night. That's April the 22nd. That ball caught Wynn on the toe and then rocketed to the other side of the floor and may have taken the wind out of a player. Everybody's laughing. Everybody okay.
Checked on each other.
And no harm, no foul.
Immediate apologies. Girls are so polite.
Indeed they are. 22-12. This one kept alive. Swung back over.
This is one of the things, though, Bill Thomas, about this sport that I absolutely adore. Everybody has their own place.
Yes.
I was never, other than, of course, softball, which, again, the contact happens, but in a very regulated fashion.
That's right.
That's one of the things I love about volleyball and swimming. You have your place. You don't necessarily need to touch anybody. Very big on that. I've found out that that's a lot of my personality. It's probably why I swam and played volleyball.
You need your space.
Need my space.
Over the net, this one goes. Collier from Muller. Now Meza.
Billy Todd always laughs at what it would be like if I ever played basketball.
Oglesby says, get over the net. And kept right alive, and Wynn was able to kill it for Leominster.
I'm
Todd,
guessing,
what do you
guessing
think?
you'd be a proponent of zone defense because you would not be playing up in your face man-to-man.
It would not. I don't think it would end well for the opposition. What do you think, Todd?
Supposed to guard the other
It would
player.
end with the
Look at
ball
Mary.
tucked under her arm and just like running down the floor. There'd be no dribbling involved. And there'd be stiff arms. It's just not good. Oglesby is long of the line, 22-15.
Yep.
Leominster has to find a way to stem the tide here. This third set is slipping away.
Indeed. Perez Soto on serve. Over the net, wide of the line, 23-15. And South Lancaster was within view of closing the match. Agnes Carvalho, the freshman, on service with an ace. Puts the Crusaders on the hill at 24-15. 2 sets already in the books. Looking to win a third to sweep the match. Carvalho on serve. Over the net, going back line in, that's an ace, and the match is over. 25-15 in set number 3. South Lancaster takes the match 3-0. Teams go to their respective lines.
Give a little wave of respect.
Indeed they do. Congratulations and respect all around. (25-19, 25-22, 25-15). Bill Thomas, that's how this one closes out for Leominster on a night that, honestly, you just never quite felt like they got started. They were maybe a little stymied off of that Monday match, and then again having to play 3 matches this week. They were at Groton yesterday, got swept yesterday, and then come into this one, swept yet again.
Yeah, they never really seemed like they had the energy, although in that third set there, they came out strong and they built that early lead, but just kind of ran out of steam there. They stopped talking, and a number of balls hit the floor unchallenged, and before you know it, looked up at the scoreboard and South Lancaster had a lead. So, and then there was no stopping them, the proverbial train running downhill, and before you know it, the match was over.
Indeed they did, and that is the struggle. Coach John Antonetti's squad will end the season with a 2-11 overall record. South Lancaster will improve their overall record to 5-4 in 9 matches played. And when you look back over the season for Leominster, there were signs. There were signs that maybe this could go a different way, and unfortunately, when things went wrong, they went very wrong. When things went well, they went very right. There just wasn't a lot in between. Gray area was not a thing for this Leominster High School team this season. But again, we appreciate their efforts. Heck of a lot of fun. It's been so much fun to be welcomed into this volleyball community and get to be a part of this coverage throughout the season. Kate and Billy are currently moving pieces around. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Kate is walking down, a headset in hand. There we go. I'm going to bring Coach John Antonetti a little bit closer, I think, to the broadcast position, I think is what we're going to end up with, which will hopefully allow him to hear us a little bit better, as well as you see his team rally one last time in excitement in the conclusion of their season, congratulating their seniors who played their last match this evening, and for the moment, wrapped up the volleyball season, although the boys' volleyball season is on deck, coming very, very soon. Coach John Antonetti joins us in a moment as we continue. South Lancaster a winner 3-0 this evening here inside the gym at Leominster High School. More coverage to come of Leominster High School volleyball. This is RFM. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School, alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Rivalry Family Media, and happy to be joined now by Leominster High School head coach John Antonetti. Coach, first of all, on the match tonight, it was just a tough week, a three-match week, not something you've been asked to do often this year, although a couple of times. Two hard-fought battles with Groton Dunstable. Answering the bell a third time was going to be awfully difficult, and tonight it just felt like the team was gassed.
They're gassed, and even though it was a short season, it was long.
Yep.
And we missed, I think, 3 or 4 starters, and so we had to make some adjustments. And so most of the girls were out of position, and so just all that in general. It's not an excuse, but it's part of what we were. So those are the kind of things you can't hide.
And Coach, one of the things that you just mentioned that I don't necessarily think, I know that Todd and I certainly are acutely aware of it because we're also educators like yourself. I don't necessarily think that the general public understand just how emotionally, physically, psychologically this has had an impact on the school setting, obviously, as the adults in the school for the teachers. Right. But it becomes acutely obvious when you're talking to your students and your student athletes just how much this pandemic has taken out of them. Like you said, although it's been a short season, it's probably felt like a marathon. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we started sometime in March.
Yep.
That seems like
yesterday.
It sounds like it,
yeah.
But it doesn't.
Right.
It's been a grind. Waiting for some kids to get here because of rides, because they're not in that day. Some classes get out right at the 2:45 mark, so we start at 3, and some of them are, chasing down to get here 4:03. So there's been many times we started at 3:10, 3:15, because we're waiting for 4 or 5 girls, and we're out by 4:30 because we have to sanitize, and then the next crew's coming in, and they're hanging out in the hallway waiting. So it just wasn't normal, and as much as you try to do the normal routines and everything, this still was different, It just,
yeah.
We all lived it.
And in a normal circumstance, I know when I went here, we would have, part of JV and varsity practice was able to go concurrently and simultaneously. We were able to split the gym differently. And obviously for the JV2 team, you also have the access to the rubber gym. But because of social distancing, now, much like with other sports, you're having to extend those practices. So not only are students having to be on, computers for the vast majority of the day, their practice might not be until 8 or 9 at night having to get here as well.
We were limited to a hour and a half practice in a sequential order, pretty much.
Yep.
After us, the other JV 1 came in, and then JV 2 came in. And we didn't have the luxury of practicing with each other,
Right.
so that we could help develop some of the younger girls with some of the older girls, kind of thing. We couldn't pair up. We couldn't blend. A lot of times we do a 45-minute crossover.
Yes.
You know, we do a 2-hour, at least a 2-hour to a 2.5-hour practice, and the other girls come in, and we usually blend it in, and so that the younger girls can see the future competition for them.
Yep.
And we just didn't have any of that.
It's akin essentially to like doing situations or
Yep,
even,
certainly.
you know, an inter-squad scrimmage in bat and ball sports as well. But in volleyball, it's done on the daily. It happens almost all the time.
Which is certainly one of the benefits. Tonight, Coach, I did notice, tried to mix and match a couple of young girls into that rotation, try to see if at least you get some game experience before you take some months off and then come back in the fall.
Yeah, there are a couple of girls that didn't get in, and it was only because I left the seniors in. So that was the only reason why I didn't mix it up more.
Short turnaround in this year, which will be the other unique piece. You're right back on this with this group come September. It's not the long layoff, from November to September. It's literally here you are, April, coming back at the end of August and into September, assuming all things are equal and we go back to a more regular routine. How do you think that will affect development? Will it actually maybe help in the long run, letting players, a shorter turnaround, they come back together a little bit faster? Maybe you don't have as much starting over again in the retention?
August 23rd.
Coach already knows the date.
Already knows the date. And I've already talked to a few of the girls. I've discussed the returning varsity players, what their roles are going to be for next year. And I told them what they need to work on to get improved and be ready for the 23rd. We've talked to the JV level girls, and I've mentioned that too. There was a couple of girls out in the hallway, and they were saying, I'm going to be back, I'm going to be back. I said, August 23rd. And they're like, what's that? I go, that's when you come back. And one of the things that I always say to all the returning players is, starting now until August 23rd, you go out and learn how to play. Okay? Don't come back in August 23rd thinking, I'm going to start teaching you stuff that you need to do to come back. And so to use this time now to learn how to play.
And there's an opportunity there as well. Coach, tonight was about a lot more than volleyball. You had this phenomenal Dig Pink event. It did phenomenally well, given, of course, the limitations and what you could do. We were talking about it. You can't go door to door. You can't go stand out in front of an establishment that might give you permission to help raise the funds. You can't even go room to room here in the building. That's how limited the movement was. So it was all social media driven. And Leominster as a community responded. $1,250 raised for the family of Pat Foley, the beloved father, husband, and Leominster High School teacher who was diagnosed with glioblastoma in 2018.
Yes.
Leominster responds when you ask them to.
We do. It's a phenomenal community. If Pat's out there, we want to say we love you, we miss you, and we wish you all the best. And I'm proud of the girls wanting to do this this year. When I said, we probably wouldn't be able to have the big night because of all the restrictions. And they said, no, we want to do something. And then Coach Como and I started talking about it, and she said, hey, let's do this. And we did that just in a couple of days from the time we started doing all the planning. And you can't be more proud of a community.
No question about that, indeed. I'll add one more thing, seeing that it's August 23rd where you're starting back up with this team. The start date for boys volleyball is not far away either, Coach. You get a couple of days off, and then you're right back onto it again. Give us a little preview. What is to come in the boys' season?
April 26th.
That's right.
April 26th.
1 week.
I don't know what's going to happen. It's very interesting. The boys program, we didn't have anything last year. It got canceled. The previous year, we went 2 rounds deep in the playoffs. The previous year, we went 2 rounds deep in the playoffs. The previous year, before I came here, they went 5 sets into the semifinal. The year before that, they missed it by a game. The year before that, they went into the final. So out of the last 5 years, they've been in 4 state tournaments. So it's a rather successful program. With that saying, we have no returning players because of the COVID.
Yep.
Majority of the players graduated, and any returning player that we would have had last year moved out of the district.
Wow.
So if there are any Leominster High School students out there, get on the website, sign up, and come down Monday after vacation.
If you have height and jumping ability, Coach Antonetti wants to talk to you.
Last spring, we had a handful of the basketball players wanting to play. And so we had a little quick introduction meeting in the cafeteria. And my captain comes in and he says, Coach, what are all these boys? Where's all this height? I've never had height like that. It was going to be phenomenal just to see what we could do. And it got canceled.
COVID and one thing leads to another.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing what it's going to look like. There's no question about that. We'll see you in the coming weeks. I know you had said that this kind of dig pink night was something that really killed them not being able to do last year. So I have no doubt, lest I put any more pressure on you, that this will come back up again. And we'll look forward to being here for another one later on, a couple of months from now.
Yeah, I look forward to it. That's our plan. That's one of the things we'll do. Hopefully the restrictions will be a little bit more relaxed as things are happening. So. You know, it is what it is. You try and what I said to the girls out there is, you know, leave it on the floor, give it your best. And that whatever's thrown at you, you got to adjust. And that's what we did with the season as best as we could.
A life lesson on display over the last year or more. I fear we'll have to do it a little bit longer. Coach John Antonetti, thank you so much for your time.
I want to thank all of you for the support. And the girls really appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank
we
you,
really
Coach.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leominster head coach John Antonetti joining us here courtside after this one. We'll step aside for a moment and then a final word here from the gym at Leominster High School. This is RFM. back inside the gym at Leominster High School for a final word. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins,
I'm
and
not
you.
Bill Thomas.
No, definitely not. And you, happy to have you along with us here on Rivalry Family Media. South Lancaster Academy, a 3-zip winner today here in this match. But Kate, we wanted to take an opportunity here for at least a final word, some final thoughts on the season, our experience here on being able to broadcast Leominster High School volleyball for Rivalry Family Media. This was one of our priority sports. We had down a series of sports that when we started in founding this, the three of us in this pursuit with the goal of being able to bring attention to sports that maybe, under our traditional broadcast windows just haven't been able to find any light. We wanted to provide daylight to it, and there were sports. Golf we were able to check off. Volleyball we've been able to check off. We've got a few more we've talked about before. As the years go by, we'll be able to hopefully get to them all, and a handful of them hopefully coming up in the weeks and months ahead as well. But Kate, talk about the experience here, obviously, of having been a player in this program, getting to come back, see the changes in the sport, and then obviously being able to see the program that it has continued and will continue here for the years to come.
Lots and lots of changes since I was a volleyball student athlete here at Leominster. But one of the things that has not changed is just how much fun this sport is. Again, we've talked about the marquee sports in Central Massachusetts on the girls' side. You're talking about soccer. You're talking about field hockey here in Leominster. Talking about basketball, softball, and now lacrosse. And lacrosse has even become marquee since you and I have left.
Certainly. And
volleyball's always kind of been that, just like that. That it's a much more social atmosphere. It's a much more it's so much fun, and you can sense that and you can feel that around the young ladies in this particular program, and it's just nice to see just that that vibe. It's a little bit different, it's a little bit off kilter, and it's a little bit fun. So that was nice to see.
And fun is a good thing to have. Bill Thomas, I would say 5 or 6 weeks ago, you and I would qualify as neophytes at best bet here in the coverage of volleyball. Thankfully, a lot of volleyball on TV over the last successive so many weeks. We've been able to do a little on-the-job learning here, but I'll tell you, I've certainly enjoyed myself and getting to learn a new sport, meet a new community, get involved in that fun. It was everything Kate promised and more. Sum up the experience over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Well, my exposure to volleyball has been pretty much watching the ball get batted around on the beach up in Hampton.
Certainly.
And this is a whole different ball game when it comes to the athleticism and the, what it takes to be successful. And we saw, even though the record doesn't show it, I think the Leominster girls still had a successful season as far as the way they came together, they played together, they supported each other, and they all have the bruises to show it. And I think that's really what it says about being a team. Everybody gave their best effort, and it's not always about the record. It's about the effort and about the camaraderie and the friends that you make. Some of these girls, first time coming out playing volleyball, the sport got mixed up a little bit. The scheduling got mixed up, different opportunities for some of these girls. But I think as a whole, I would say, record notwithstanding, it's still a successful season for Leominster girls volleyball.
No question about that. Indeed. And we thank all of you so very much for being a part of our family over the last 5 or 6 weeks and welcoming us into your family as part of the girls volleyball program here at Leominster and all across this pod number 5. We were so overjoyed to get to meet a whole bunch of new coaching staffs and get to work with them in different schools that perhaps than we would normally get when covering the variety of sports that we do. So it was a really great opportunity to get to know and learn and meet and communicate and, of course, learn from all of you as we look forward to, in the coming weeks, months, and years ahead, more coverage of what will then be called Mid-Wach C, I believe. Volleyball, I believe, is what that's normally, entitled, or it's either C or D with the lettering system. But of course, it's going to have a whole new different lettering and numbering system when the statewide program comes into place coming up this fall. So stay tuned for all of that. But we'll certainly look for this league of teams to come together, as Monty Tech Coach John Antonetti had told us was the only addition to this group that normally would play one another. So South Lancaster and North Middlesex and Groton Dunstable, Hudson, North Middlesex, and Leominster are all traditional opponents with one another. This just, a slight modification with the addition of Monty Tech being a little more regional to join up with those other groups as well. But again, we appreciate it. We're looking forward to more coverage of volleyball to come, including the boys volleyball season that Coach John Antonetti will get to know and meet as we will, hopefully in the coming weeks and months ahead. And that brings up, of course, the spring season to come with so many different sports out there. You get the different lacrosses, the bat ball sports, as well as boys volleyball, all of that for you. We'll put together a best of schedule that will come your way, hopefully right here on Rivalry Family Media. Stay tuned, facebook.com/Media Rivalry for more information on that in the weeks and months ahead. That said, of course, there's still football season to be talked about, and we went over the schedule a little bit, but one more time for those of you scoring along with us. More high school football to come. Leominster's game against Doherty moved originally from its Friday night slot to Thursday, which would have been tonight, not happening, and then on to Saturday, which is where that game will be contested. Doherty will travel to Leominster for Leominster's first home game. It will be homecoming senior night, and just thank God we don't have to travel to another one night, which is what ultimately it will be at Doyle Field. Historic Doyle Field, the site. 6 o'clock is kickoff on the varsity game. Broadcast coverage will begin on our radio home, the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. at 5:20 coming up on Saturday night. And that is the back end of a day-night doubleheader. You don't often get these in football, but we've got day-night doubleheader action for you, as before that by 6 hours, we've got coverage for you, a noontime kickoff of St. Bernard's traveling to West Boylston. Game played at a neutral site. Shrewsbury's Adams Memorial Field will play host to that game. A noontime kickoff means an 11:20 countdown to kickoff on our radio home, the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com for that action. The Leominster Doherty game will also be carried by our television partners at Leominster TV, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 32, Leominster.TV streaming the world over. And that coverage will begin at 10 till 6, so 5:50 on Saturday night, or about 10 minutes before kickoff. Leominster TV's coverage will come your way for that one as well. Then additions to the football schedule move on into next week, where Leominster has added a game with Shepherd Hill. Shepherd Hill will travel to Doyle Field to take on Leominster in that action. That'll be 7 o'clock next Thursday, April the 22nd. That coverage will be on Leominster TV, as well as streaming with the K-Zone. We'll have more information on that. And then, of course, the game that everyone is wondering about. Will the 139th meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg take place? Still to be determined. There is a date selected. It has been published online. It is Tuesday, April the 29th. It is still awaiting approval by the officials in the Athletic Directors Committee, as well as at the MIAA level, to play that game outside of the season
Tuesday,
at this
the
point in time.
27th.
Excuse me, Tuesday, April 27th. Thank you, Kate. As at one point it was Thursday the 29th. It is now Tuesday, April the 27th. I knew I had the Tuesday part right, but anyway, it is awaiting and pending approval. Once approved, that game will officially go on the schedule for the K-Zone, as well as Leominster.TV here in the city of Leominster.
Stay
So
tuned.
all of that to come. We'll have more on that as the broadcasts progress throughout the week. Lots of fun to come. So many ways to play and be a part of it on Rivalry Family Media. The live premieres right here on Facebook. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Games available same day delay on YouTube. YouTube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe on that today, or that tiny URL on the screen will take you there directly. tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. Updates available for things like the schedule and more. Out on Twitter, follow @Media Rivalry for that information, as we're able to amalgamate all the great reporting from all of our great friends and colleagues all across the television, radio, newspaper world here in Massachusetts, New England, and all across the United States to bring you the best in high school coverage here in central Massachusetts. So we're looking forward to all of that and then some as the weeks and months progress. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us once again for high school volleyball here on Rivalry Family Media. Until the spring season begins, or until football coming up on Saturday afternoon, we thank you so very much for being a part of this one here on Rivalry Family Media. Once again, the final score in this match, 3-0 South Lancaster over Leominster, 25-19, 25-22, 25-15. For all of us in the Rivalry family, media family, we say thank you so very much for being a part of our family. And until soon, so long.